So the Indiana Fever have 41, yes, 41 national TV games. They're basically playing all bar 3 games at national TV, which is great. Which is great for Americans. Not great for me, because, I mean, depending on where I watch the games, using League Pass, for some reason, League Pass on the computer thinks everyone's American. Obviously, on my phone, I can get the games, but, you never know. You never know, so if I'm watching these games, if I'm doing live streams, it'll be very annoying having to watch it on my phone. But at the end of the day, look, that's a good problem to have. However, when it comes to the Fever games, you never know. You never know. I might do what I can to see if I can get some sort of a deal on playback, which would be really cool to be dual streaming on playback and on YouTube for people that want to be able to watch the game through there. It could be cool dual streaming on that, doing YouTube reactions as well as the playback stuff. But obviously that's something that I'm gonna have to organize for the season, and it's a discussion I gotta have with the guys over there, who I, in fairness, used to work with them back in the day, when that site first started. But 41 of 44 games on national TV, most national TV games in franchise history, most national TV games for a single team in WNBA history. I mean, obviously it's the most in WNBA history. The WNBA has never had more than 40 games in a season. Obviously there is a that's the case. There was only 40 games last year. Which games isn't on national TV? It's the Top Link versus Connecticut. Of course their game versus the freaking Connecticut Sun. So, does it say what the 3 are? Does it say the 3? So in Atlanta, is that the... Oh, so the Atlanta one in the 3,000-seater stadium isn't on big TV. I can still see this game getting moved. Gamebridge against the Sparks. Okay, and then Gamebridge versus Phoenix. Oh no, none of them are the Connecticut Suns. Really? Against the Phoenix and Gamebridge? A Phoenix Mercury and Gamebridge isn't on national TV? I get it. There's no more Kalia Copper, but I thought people would be really hyped to watch it. I can't even make the people be hyped watching Alyssa Thomas as a joke as a real thing. Alyssa Thomas is really good, but nobody was hyped to watch Ben Simmons, except obviously Colin Cowherd when he made that, LeBron, we're good. We've got Ben Simmons now. One of the worst takes in NBA history, but at the same time, man, I was a Simmons over Embiid guy. So, I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I am wrong with that. So, it's a big one. It is big. And not only that, I think there's 30, if I'm not mistaken, the Mercury and the Aces have more than 30. Most national TV games in WNBA history. That's a flex. I mean, kind of impossible for another team to have had more because, I mean, again, there's not that many. There wasn't 40 games. And looking at the Amazon Prime schedule, so the first game is the Fever versus the Atlanta Dream. I don't mind the Amazon Prime games. At least they let me watch them on my computer. I don't hate the Prime games. I have Prime, thankfully. I mean, we now have Amazon.ie in Ireland, but Prime is nowhere near. Amazon Prime is nowhere near as good in Ireland as the UK, so I'm refusing to switch my Amazon Prime over. But, so we got the old Prime Video there, and then there is, obviously, quite a few games on CBS. So if you're looking at the primetime matchups, I don't understand why CBS used some of their primetime matchups. Maybe these were just games that were on at those times. But Saturday at 8 p.m., 2 Saturday 8 p.m. games, Fever versus Sky, obviously. They're going to be the 2 most viewed games next season. Then you have got the Liberty versus the Lynx, a rematch of the finals, which would be cool. 2 p.m. Good time for me. nobody's. This is not. Is 12 p.m. on a Saturday. 12 p.m. Eastern time, which is 9 a.m. Am I right in saying these are all Eastern time? If these are all Eastern time, this is a 9 a.m. game. Because I think both of these are on Western time, aren't they? And again, I could be completely wrong. I'm not American. I'm from Ireland. We're bang smack in the middle of, British summertime and Greenwich Mean Time. The way the map is angled, we're bang smack in the old middle. But, yeah, so looking at it on ESPN, the first game is the first night. So the Fever game is on ABC, ESPN Plus. So a bunch of them are on. So this is ABC. I say ABC and ESPN. Are they both owned by Disney? I don't know. This game's on Disney Plus 2, the first Chicago Sky game. So there's a double header, which is nice to see. Because the Aces and Liberty game, it's going to be great to watch Jewel Lloyd shoot 2 of 16 from the field and watch the Liberty destroy them. That'll be a very fun one, and it will be fun to watch Caitlin go for 25. I actually don't think Caitlin's going to drop 25 in the first game. I think she's going to try to get everyone involved. We can watch her drop 18 and 14. Like, we could see her probably... I reckon we're going to see 2 McDouble-doubles. We're going to see 2 McDouble-doubles in this game. Maybe 4 McDouble-doubles. I think we could see 4 McDouble-doubles. I think Aaliyah Boston might end up with a McDouble-double, and I think that both the Twin Towers are going to end up with a McDouble-double because the Fever still don't have the greatest defensive rebounding. And let's be real, we're going to see a lot of ping-pong off the backboard to each other from this team. Like, if the Sky are going to win games, it's going to come from the offensive glass this year. Realistically, especially early on. If they're going to win games, it'll be like the best way the Sky can play is how they played last year when they were winning a couple of games, and what they were doing was literally they were going out of their way to just grit and grind. Like, I loved watching the early season Chicago Sky play when it wasn't about the double-doubles, when they kind of ran through Marina Mabry and Kennedy Carter, and it was literally just, we're going to stop you from scoring. We're going to make this as hard of a game as possible, and we're going to win with grit and grind. When Elizabeth Williams was still playing. Like, that Chicago Sky team, I thought were going to make the playoffs. And then it became about the double-doubles, and I'll blame the coach for that, but... and even during that streak, a lot of that was to do with Angel Reese's defense, in fairness. Like, that's not a knock on Angel Reese and double-doubles. It did correlate with their season going to shit, that double-double streak. But, yeah, so what else is there? There are games on Ion. There are some games even on Ion. So let's take a look at the old Ion schedule, the WNBA countdown. So we've got the NBA TV, the Ion games, a couple of games on ABC. So obviously the first night of games, I'll be streaming that first night of games. Don't really want to stream that first night of games, but at least it'll be probably watching Paige Becker's first game. So I don't mind that. Like, I'm probably going to be streaming most nights' games, to be honest. Especially if I can sort out some deal with playback, I'm streaming every night of games. I'm doing that every night. But yeah, so weird how Liberty isn't putting the Liberty's first game kick off the new season. They can get a good slot on ABC. That is more beneficial, for for them. But yeah, that is pretty much it. The Fever with 41. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.